Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rockport High School for this special event. My name is John Parisi. I'm the athletic director. I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's a very, very special occasion. I'm so honored to celebrate the tremendous careers of Dave and Rye. It's a combined over 70 years of coaching. Coach Curley said it's closing in on 80. Successful years of coaching, I may add. So I want to thank the people that made this possible, our school committee for approving this, Superintendent Rob Lebo, who couldn't be here, he's at a family wedding, he's very upset about it. Both of our principals, Amy Rose, Amanda Lamontia. A nice surprise this morning when I got here, the flowers in front of the posts over there were donated by Tina Lamond. That was a very nice gesture. They look beautiful. I'd like to thank Tom Boudreau. I don't know if he made it over here or not, but he was very instrumental in getting this going, helping the process, along with our new supervisor of building and grounds, Kurt Keating, and his assistant, Steve Scatterday. They did a lot of work to get this thing all going. Last but not least, and I haven't seen him here, I really hope he is here, Mike Clay of Clay Sign Service did all the legwork, and you guys will understand the hard work he put into it because the sign is absolutely beautiful. So Mike Clay, Brian Cahoon, who works for him, and Clay Sign Service, they were amazing helping us get this sign up. I also need to thank Ipswich High School for being part of today. Their athletic director, Tom Gallagher, was absolutely on board for this. I know he's a very good friend of Mary, and I'd like to thank all their coaches for being patient with us and for this day to take place. Thank you, Ipswich High School. So I'm going to get going with our speakers. Our first speaker is a graduate of the class of 1999. She had a tremendous career in a number of sports here at Rockport, and then she went on to play collegiate level at Northeastern, and it's nice that her actual collegiate coach is here today to listen to her speak. So our first presenter is Melissa LaRock, Raoul LaRock.
I'm always Melissa Rowell, I think, when I come to Rockport. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. As John said, I'm Melissa LaRock. I've had the absolute pleasure of playing for Rye in high school and captaining her teams in 1998 and 1999. And it's really important for me to say that I'm here representing the hundreds of girls who have had the privilege and the opportunity to play for Rye. I thought I would sort of start with a little bit of a story, which is ironic because my high school and college coaches are here. So it was my freshman year at Northeastern University, and I was towards the end of a grueling preseason where we had double sessions and triple sessions, and it was hot in Boston, and there was a situation that came up where the coaching staff had come down pretty hard on me, and I felt frustrated, and I felt like I was trying my best, and I was just, I was trying to hang on and play with girls who were so talented, and I just felt as though all I could do was just try my absolute best. And I didn't know what to do about this situation, and I talked to my wonderful parents, and I talked to my teammates and my friends, and then I took a deep breath, and I walked down the streets of Boston to a payphone, which tells you a little bit about the times of dating myself, but I walked to a payphone and I called Rye, and she answered, and she listened to me, and I talked and I talked and I talked, and she just listened with intent and with patience, and she didn't say anything, and she let me talk through the situation, and she let me talk through it again as an 18-year-old girl would do. I probably did it 3 times, and then when I got to the end, she just sort of took a deep breath and she said, well, Raoul, you have a choice. You can either stick with it or you don't. And when we hung up, again, the 18-year-old self in me didn't know what to think about that. I felt frustrated that she wasn't, oh, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, and I can understand how you feel this way. I mean, you know, and in Rye's way, in the only way that she knows how, she was perfunct and she was matter of fact, and she gave me something to think about, and it was exactly what I needed. And in the hours and the days and the weeks and the months that followed, I understood that what she taught me, or better yet, what she led me to understand for myself, was that I should rise above, I should focus on the big picture, and I should control only what I can control. And as an adult, I think back on that and I just think, what a gift I was given. I can't tell you how many times in my athletic life or my professional life or my personal life that stuff has happened. It's happened to all of us. And I still hear Rye's voice in my head now to this day. And I think to myself, rise above, focus on the big picture, and control what I can control. And I'm just so grateful to have learned that so early on from you. It's important. It's important to note that while Rye is an incredibly skilled and talented coach, it's her intangibles that make her so special. In particular, I think her focus on character. Rye was able to help us see through to the things that really matter, and she coached us in life, not only in our sport. She was just simply there for us all the time. She helped us believe that good character comes from kindness and inclusivity, from an open heart and an open mind, and from choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. In short, she taught us to live and play with absolute heart. Also, Rye is hilarious. She's incredibly funny, for those of you who know her. But more importantly, she took time to make people feel special. And make no mistake about it, she didn't put up with any BS, like none whatsoever. But once your actions showed that you were willing to show up and you were willing to be present and to work hard, she found a place for you on the team and a way for you to feel confident in that role and needed in that role and important. Rye fostered and continues to foster an environment where you be good to one another, you work hard, you show respect, you put your team first, and you play and you live with absolute heart. So we thank you, Rye, for all that you have done and will continue to do for our girls and our teams and our community. And I'm just honored to share this day with all of you, and I will proudly visit this field with my parents and with my kids for years to come. Thanks.
Our next speaker was a class of 2011. Coach Curley always referred to him as having another coach on the field. Went on to play, had a nice career at Boston College. Our next speaker is Keedy Siegel.
Firstly, thanks for having me, Coach Parisi, Principal Rose, Dr. Lebo, and thank you for everybody coming together to organize the event and to show out today. Thank you, guys. John, I know the athletic program will continue to be in good hands under your leadership, and congratulations again, Coach Ryan and Coach Curley. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Keedy Siegel. I played goalie on the boys soccer team from 2007 to 2011. And it's so ironic because when I was preparing some notes for what to speak about today, I thought about some of the things Coach Curley taught us and realized I didn't even have to think for more than a minute because I still use so many of those lessons that he taught today. The ability to have mental toughness when facing adversity, and then executing your job, whether it's on the field or off, with pride and poise. We had some great highs during my time here, defeating some powerhouse clubs like North Andover, Masconomet, Wilmington, Weston, qualifying for the state tournament for the first time in 7 years, and capturing a sectional championship, and arguably most importantly, only losing one time against Manchester Essex in 4 years. With the highs, Coach Curley, he also guided us through the lowest of the lows, all of which, while not only making us better students, better athletes, but better people, which is what it's all about. Again, thank you for having me. Thank you for attending today. Good luck to all the teams in the remainder of their seasons, and congratulations again, Coach Curley and Coach Ryan.
Our next speaker was a class of, I'm not sure he ever graduated. Our next speaker is George Ramsden.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm probably the only one here, up front here, that had both these people as a teacher. They were first-year teachers when I was a freshman, and they did a good job. Some young ladies over here dressed in the white shirts. I believe a payphone was mentioned. That's a phone where you put a nickel? Put a nickel in, you can talk, but you don't see those anymore. Years ago, Dave Cooley said to me, I hope you're still here when, you know, I'm going along, and towards the end he said, because I hope you organize a gathering out in the field for me. So I wasn't going to do it until Mary Ryan called and said, I hope we're going to have a party, George. I said, well, we'll see. People that don't know much about Rockport in the past, if you ask them what Rockport was famous for, they would say, oh, probably fishing and lobstering, granite quarries, art. Most people that weren't here long ago don't realize that Rockport was very, very big in farming. Had about 5 farms in this town at one time, plus we had Smitty's stables for the horses. And these farms were dairy, beef, produce. The very field we're standing on today, where all the schools are here, all the play fields, the other school, all belong to the Poole family. And they were one of the earliest settlers in this town. Got here just a little before I did. Mr. Poole, who would be a grandfather to Stan Poole, who now runs the Poole Construction Company, and he wasn't the first Poole in town, but he's an old-timer. He sold this present land to the town so the schools could be built and there could be fields. Poole raised on this property right here where we are, this was a potato field. He also built a barn over here. He didn't, his family did, in the late 1800s, where they kept a team of oxen to pull a lot of their equipment. And also they had a couple of large draft horses which helped them do the work. When I was a kid, we used to come up here. I was just a summer boy and at the time, and I remember coming up here at night. This place was famous for bioluminescence. Now I need somebody in biology to tell me what I saw. Bioluminescence, what did I see? Place was fireflies. Good for you. A plus. Fireflies. This place was covered at night with fireflies. Green Field was known to be the field up here at one time. And what it really meant was the field way down the end where there's a little league field, also a girls play softball down there, and there's a recess field. a plaque was put on a large rock out front, and it was in honor of Earl Green, who was a village doctor here many, many years, also on the Rockport School Committee. The first class to graduate from Rockport High School here was a class of 63. In 1964, this was just a large, barren field. I was a rookie teacher. I remember looking out here, and two things grew here: grass and rocks, because it was a farm field. And in the spring, the rocks came up after the frost in winter. And I know Steve Rowell, at least Steve Rowell remembers, because he did it, and there's probably a few of you out here. They would walk across this field with baskets and buckets as part of their outdoor PE, picking up rocks, putting them in a big pile. That went on for a number of years before they really got the field the way it is. There was no track here, but there was a large ring around this area because kids had to run it as part of their PE classes. Eventually, the track that you see today was put down. Mary and David, they were born to be educators, dedicated, respectful, and respected, and that's the key in teaching, as in anything really. Respectful and respected. Mary and Dave were among the first to arrive each and every day, all the years they're in the classroom, and most often among the last to leave, just about every day. They taught by example, not only school lessons, but I heard earlier mentioned by the students, but also life lessons. Character development was very, very important. Mary and David were role models for students, and also us professional colleagues of theirs. In my 54 years hanging around Rockport High School, they rank among the best of the very, very best educators whose paths cross mine in schoolwork. Personally, I am so very fortunate. You have been part of my life, part of my son's lives, David, and also part of my grandson's lives. He was in about the 3rd grade, and he said to me, "Do you think Mr. Curley's going to be there when I play varsity soccer?" I told that to Curley. Curley said, "What grade's he in?" I said, 3rd grade. He said, "What you say?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Thanks for throwing me under the bus," he said. But he's still here, and that kid is a junior. In your lives, David and Mary, scoreboards to date, and I hope they continue, are simply going to register so many points for and so many points against. But there's a bigger and more important scoreboard in any coach's life, and that's the final scoreboard. And that final scoreboard is going to read so many women and so many men from so many girls and boys. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, David. God bless you.
Our final speaker really needs no introduction, longtime athletic director. And I think if Rockport had an athletics Mount Rushmore, these 3 heads would be on it. Steve Rowell.
Thank you, John. It's a real honor and a privilege for me to be here today at this special occasion honoring these 2 incredible individuals. And thank you, Mr. Ramsden, for that history lesson, by the way. Appreciate it. I honestly don't know if it's possible to quantify what these 2 individuals have meant to our school, to our community, to the Cape Ann League, all I know is trying to put into words, it just seems inadequate. I think all of you being here today as a tribute to these two individuals, family, friends, current players, former players, the feelings that we have, former teachers, administrators, that we have for these two, it's just simply not possible to talk about. You just can't. I've tried, thought about it, can't. I knew that today was going to be special, and it's made special by you, and certainly by what they have given, decades. Last week, David and Mary were on radio, and the guy asked him, well, how many years have you been in Rockport? And he's a social studies guy. He's not too quick with math. But I studied it. He's 77 years in the Rockport Public Schools of dedicated service, of teaching what athletics should be all about. And there are more, by the way, there are coaches out there in this world, and there are teacher coaches. They are classic examples. They are what all is good about public education. They represent everything that's good. For them, they're championship coaches, they're Hall of Fame coaches, but they forged relationships, past and present. They provided life lessons to kids who will go to that well constantly over and over again, and it will help them become better people because they knew what it's all about. Athletics is just an incredible experience, and most of us have been involved in athletics. We can all relate to that. But it's more than just the competition. It's the lessons that you simply cannot get in a classroom. It's out here on the field. You know, it's the inspiration, it's the motivation that they have provided. They've pushed, they've pulled, and they have maximized the full potential. I'll go out and I swear to this, they've maximized the full potential of every student athlete that they have come in contact with on their teams. Now, there's some years where they may not have won as much, but those lessons were constant. They never changed, depending on how their season was going. And they do share a lot in common. Aside from their Irish heritage, they also have spent their entire careers here in the Rockport Public Schools. And that says an awful lot. We are so proud of them and all that they have given. This is just a wonderful occasion, and I'm thrilled to be part of it. And I'm happy that I have had this opportunity. They've made me a better athletic director. They've made me a better person for being around them, and I think we can all relate to that. So thank you for all that you guys have given. We love you both, and this is just such a wonderful occasion and so well deserved. Thank you.
So at this time, we'll have the unveiling. Let me be the first to welcome you all to the Mary Ryan David Curley Athletic Field.
I will be quick because I know Curls will not. and he's using my water. I'd like to thank, I'm going to use the names of people that I use daily. Bun, Steve, Raul, Keaty, the entire planning committee that went through the process of getting this all together, all the former student athletes out there, both field hockey and soccer, the townspeople. I'm absolutely honored. Grew up in Newburyport, came to another port. I was asked the other day by an athletic director in the league, would you ever consider coaching anyplace else? And I said I will never coach field hockey any other place than here. Thank you very much.
Now, this is a first. Mary is the most prepared of all the educators I ever worked with. Mary is, I think everybody would agree, the most prepared person. And when she said to me, are we speaking today? And I said, I think maybe just a couple of words. So I wrote a few things down. Something Mary always does and didn't. I'm gonna apologize in advance, and my head is going to be down, and hi Savannah. I'm going to read from my notes real quick, because if I look at this crowd, I'm going to be a puddle, a complete puddle. It's just incredible to turn out here today, and but I do want to extend some thanks. It's truly an extraordinary day in my life to be a part of this. Obviously, congratulations to Rye. I am so humbled and appreciative of this honor. She and I have shared this field so long, and that makes it even more special. How does anybody stay in a relationship for over 40 years? And that's what I've had. I've had an incredible relationship for 40 years with this community, with this school. And like any relationship, so many things are necessary for that to happen: support, cooperation, hard work, trust, sacrifice, and of course, a lot of love. Since my beginnings here in 1977, my wife, Christine, has provided all of the above, all of those things mentioned, allowing me to pursue my passion. I am unable to do what I have been doing all of my life without her by my side. Thank you. I have been absolutely blown away by the text messages and people coming up to me and congratulating me on the street. And one of the things that I have said to each and every one of them, it seems, is, yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really special. Most recipients that receive an honor like this, it's a posthumous honor, or it costs you $1 million. And neither are occurring. I'm alive, and it didn't cost a dime. But what truly makes it special, and I've said what truly makes it special, is that I have my entire family to share. My entire family to share in this honor, in this award. My mom and dad are here. My siblings are here. Their children are here, and that truly makes it special. We are so fortunate and blessed to still all be together. I'll be very brief. I could go on and on, but I do have to thank some people here. My family first, my school family second. As Rye said, I got a big brother, Steve. I got a sister, Rye. I got a younger brother, John. They have always, always had my back. They are like family to me. As athletic directors, as colleagues, and as coaches, they are the dearest of dear friends. George, Bonnie. It's kind of cool that you don't have to give last names for some people. Everybody just knows who they are. George, Bonnie. I have to use the last names here because of the two of them, Cindy Joyce, Cindy Balcom, Allison Vanderpool, and Michelle Elwell. They have always cared for me and supported me and our teams in any way they possibly could. There are too many junior varsity and assistant coaches to thank, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention Tom Bauer, who was my coaching mentor back in the 70s, and my first assistant coach and the architect of so much success that we had on this field here, Sean Levesque, who is present today. Behind the scenes, John has mentioned guys like John Parisi, Tom Boudreau, keeping this place in ship shape. The FRA for keeping our athletes in ship shape. The blind support of superintendents like Rob Lebo and Rose DiTullio. My dear friends, Charlie Simons and Dan Fleming, I'm always appreciative of their support, their cooperation, their guidance, and most importantly, the friendship. To the parents of the players, I thank you all, and it's so nice to see so many of my former players are parents. And man, they are good parents. They are better parents than they were kids. I thank all of the parents for entrusting me and sharing your children with me and the sacrifices that you and your family have made to support me and our soccer program. And lastly, the biggest thank you goes out to all of the players, the team managers, the hard work, cooperation that you had with each other and with me, and keep coming back for more. My greatest joy is not just working with you, but watching you grow up into incredible adults, and as I've already said, better fathers and husbands than you were soccer players. I am coaching the sons of players. I am coaching with former players. I am walking the Gloucester Boulevard and wheeling as they are wheeling their sons and daughters in carriages with them. I am attending college graduation celebrations, weddings, and receiving birth announcement. How awesome. This field has created these lifelong relationships, which, believe it or not, are even better than the lifelong memories that we all have of this field and everyone associated with them. I am truly blessed and thankful to you all. Thanks for being here. Now let's play soccer.
Something else.
Put the names in the